In 2003, Pixar Animation Studios filled the silver screen with bright colors and introduced children and parents alike to Nemo the clownfish. It was because of Finding Nemo that clownfish would now constantly be referred to as Nemos. Nemo and his friends' underwater adventure helped introduce new generations to the underwater world. This in turn helped spike interest in scuba diving and fish. But despite the sad scene of Nemo being snatched from the ocean for a personal collection, it did boost the sales of clownfish as pets. Even though more clownfish were being taken from the ocean for aquariums, Finding Nemo did fill children with wonder about the underwater world. I know that Finding Nemo is a kids' movie about adventure, friendship, and family, which needed to be delivered in a kid-friendly way, but there are a few facts that just don't quite work out. So let's break down these facts point by point. One of the best scenes in the movie is when Marlin meets Crush the turtle for the first time. During this moment, a large group of turtles and their young are seen traveling through the East Australian current. This current does exist, but there are a few issues with the clownfish and the turtles' interaction. First off, turtles are generally solitary creatures, thus very unlikely to travel all together in the same current at the same time, like what is shown in the movie. If that was true, imagine how amazing as a diver it would be to watch hundreds of turtles and their babies flying along yelling, "Dude!" We are then introduced to Crush's offspring Squirt, as well as seeing other turtles caring for their offspring. As amazing as this scene is, and how nice it is to see happy families, turtles in real life do not care for their young. They go to land, they dig a nest, they lay their eggs, and leave. From when the eggs hatch, it is up to the babies to fend for themselves. But it is at this point, when the baby turtles make their way to the ocean, that they do often enter currents like the East Australian current, as it provides them protection from predators while also being able to find easy food in the current. One of the opening scenes of the movie depicts the loving clownfish family enjoying their new anemone. Clownfish live inside anemones and have a symbiotic relationship with that anemone. There is a very clear social structure for the clownfish inside one anemone. The roles of the family are determined by the size, the largest being the dominant female, Nemo's mum, Coral. The second largest is the male partner, Nemo's father, Marlin. And the smaller clownfish, all the children, are all males. So far, the movie's pretty spot on. But things get a little bit rocky right after the shocking scene where the anemone is attacked that only leaves Nemo and his father alive. This is where things get a little bit strange for a kids' movie. In real life, if the dominant female inside the anemone dies, the next largest, who is always a male, will change his sex to become a female, thus becoming the new dominant female. The third biggest clownfish in the anemone, who is always a male, would become the new mating partner of the dominant female. So if we take this real-life logic and apply it to Finding Nemo, when Coral died, Marlin would then have become a female, and Nemo would have to mate with his father, which is now his mother? Pixar Studios was asked about this in an interview, and they just laughed it off and said, that would be pretty hard to explain in a kids' movie. While Nemo and his new friends are trapped in the aquarium in the dentist's office, they state during the escape plan that all drains lead to the ocean. Though the statement is true in many parts of the world, The journey for Nemo down the drain would have been a very different one in real life. Sydney, Australia, where the dentist's office is, their drainage and wastewater system is set up to reduce the amount of waste that does end up in the ocean. Yes, Sydney's wastewater drains do eventually end up in the ocean, so this part of the movie is somewhat correct. But in order to reduce the amount of waste that does reach that far, there is a series of treatments that the liquid needs to go through to help process it. One of the first of these treatments are grinders that help break down any solids. Among other treatments include chemicals, thinners, and heat. Nemo would have had one hell of an adventure trying to make it out of there alive. All in all, Finding Nemo is just a kids' movie, full of pretty colors, morals, adventures, and talking fish. It is not meant to be overly fact-checked, and if these changes were made to the movie, would it have been as amazing as it was? In saying this, Finding Nemo did create an issue with the population of clownfish. This issue was named the Finding Nemo effect. It's a heartbreaking scene when Nemo is plucked by a diver and pulled from the reef, leaving his dad distraught. Yet the movie inspired just that, a wave of demand for pet clownfish, surging collectors to bag and sell these wild fish around the world. Now, let us not let our kids be like the demanding braces girl in the dentist's office, and let us really think about not buying tropical reef fish. Now don't even get me started on Finding Dory. If you like this video, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to my channel. Thanks for watching, guys.